Flat Conductor Cable, or FCC, is a wiring system designed for installation under carpet squares in specific applications. The National Electrical Code, or NEC Article 328, covers this type of installation. It is important to understand the specific requirements and limitations for using FCC cable to ensure safety and compliance. Article 100 of the NEC defines carpet squares as square carpet tiles that are not permanently attached to the floor, but may be attached to each other or to the floor by means of releasable clips or adhesives. This distinction is crucial because the design allows for easy access to the wiring underneath. FCC cable connectors are designed to join FCC cables without the need for a junction box. These connectors facilitate splicing and are accessible by lifting the carpet squares. The coverings for floor-mounted FCC cable connectors and insulating ends must be carpet squares that are no larger than 36 inches by 36 inches. These carpet squares should be attached to the floor with release-type adhesives, allowing for easy removal and access to the cable. FCC cable is permitted in locations where it will not be subject to damage. These locations include, firstly, under carpet squares that are not larger than 36 inches by 36 inches, secondly, in raised floors, thirdly, in data processing areas, fourthly, in office occupancies, and finally, in conference rooms. FCC cable is specifically not permitted in residential, school, or hospital buildings due to the increased risk of damage in these locations. The NEC does not provide explicit definitions for wet and damp locations. However, the general understanding is this: firstly, a wet location is an area subject to frequent saturation with water or other liquids. Examples include bathrooms or laundry rooms. Secondly, a damp location is one that is only occasionally subject to moisture, such as basements or kitchens. Let's delve deeper into the specific aspects of FCC cable installations and their implications. The use of FCC cable is governed by several factors, primarily focusing on minimizing the risk of physical damage and ensuring accessibility for maintenance and repairs. The limitations on where FCC cable can be installed are directly related to the potential for damage. In residential, school, and hospital environments, the likelihood of furniture being moved, heavy foot traffic, or other activities that could compromise the integrity of the cable is significantly higher compared to office or data processing areas. Now consider the construction and installation of FCC cable itself. The cable is designed to be flat, allowing it to be installed under carpet squares without creating a noticeable bump or obstruction. The materials used in FCC cable are chosen for their durability and resistance to crushing or other forms of physical stress. However, even with these design considerations, the cable is still vulnerable to damage if subjected to excessive pressure or sharp objects. The connectors used with FCC cable are also specifically designed to maintain electrical safety and prevent accidental disconnection. These connectors typically feature a locking mechanism to ensure a secure connection, even when subjected to vibration or movement. The use of release-type adhesives for attaching carpet squares is another critical aspect of FCC cable installations. These adhesives allow for easy removal of the carpet squares without damaging the cable or connectors, facilitating quick access for inspection, maintenance, or repairs. The requirement for carpet squares to be no larger than 36 inches by 36 inches is intended to limit the amount of area that needs to be disturbed when accessing the cable. Smaller carpet squares are easier to lift and move, reducing the risk of damage to the surrounding area. Now let's discuss the implications of using FCC cable in different types of occupancies. In office environments, FCC cable can be a cost-effective and flexible solution for providing power and communication services to workstations. The ability to easily relocate or reconfigure workstations without having to run new wiring can save time and money. In data processing areas, FCC cable can be used to provide power and communication services to computer equipment. The raised floor construction commonly found in these areas provides a convenient space for routing FCC cable and other types of wiring. In conference rooms, FCC cable can be used to provide power and communication services to tables and other furniture. The ability to conceal the wiring under carpet squares creates a clean and professional appearance. When considering the use of FCC cable, it is essential to consult the NEC and other applicable codes and standards to ensure compliance. The NEC provides detailed requirements for the installation, protection, and grounding of FCC cable. It is also important to follow the manufacturer's instructions for the specific type of FCC cable and connectors being used. The differences between wet and damp locations are also important to understand when planning electrical installations. In wet locations, electrical equipment must be specifically designed and approved for use in those environments. This typically involves the use of watertight enclosures, corrosion-resistant materials, and other measures to protect against the ingress of water. In damp locations, electrical equipment must be protected from moisture, but the requirements are less stringent than for wet locations. This may involve the use of drip-proof enclosures or other measures to prevent water from entering the equipment. Although the NEC does not provide specific definitions for wet and damp locations, it does provide guidance on how to determine whether a location is considered wet or damp. Factors to consider include the frequency and duration of exposure to moisture, the presence of condensation, and the proximity to sources of water. In summary, FCC cable can be a useful wiring solution in specific applications, but it is important to understand the limitations and requirements for its use. By following the NEC and other applicable codes and standards, you can ensure that FCC cable installations are safe, reliable, and compliant. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer when planning or installing electrical wiring systems. They can provide expert guidance and ensure that the installation meets all applicable requirements. Also, make sure that any electrical modifications comply with 200.3. Grounded conductors. For a grounded system, a conductor which is to be used as a grounded conductor shall be identifiable and distinguishable from all other conductors. A grounded conductor shall be identified as follows. 1. Identification. A grounded conductor of 6 AWG or smaller shall be identified by a continuous white or grey outer finish or by 3 continuous white stripes on other than green insulation along its entire length. 2. Identification. A grounded conductor larger than 6 AWG shall be identified by one of the following means: A by a continuous white or grey outer finish, B by 3 continuous white stripes along its entire length on other than green insulation, C at the time of installation by a distinctive white or grey marking at its terminations. This marking shall encircle the conductor or insulation. 3. Grounded conductors of different systems. Where grounded conductors of different systems are installed in the same raceway, cable, enclosure, or equipment, one grounded conductor shall have a continuous white or grey outer finish, the other grounded conductor shall have a continuous white or grey outer finish with a readily distinguishable different coloured stripe not green running along its entire length. 4. Ungrounded conductors. Where conductors of different systems are installed in the same raceway, cable, enclosure, or equipment, all ungrounded conductors of one system shall be identified by phase and system. Means of identification shall be permitted to be by separate color coding, marking tape, tagging, or other approved means. Consider also 210.5 color code for branch circuits. Where more than one nominal voltage system exists in a building containing branch circuits, each ungrounded conductor of a branch circuit shall be identified by phase or line and system at all termination, connection, and splice points. The means of identification shall be permitted to be by separate color coding, marking tape, tagging, or other approved means. You must also observe 310.11 marking. Are required information. All conductors and cables shall be marked to indicate the following information, using the applicable method described in 310.11b. 1. The maximum rated voltage for which the conductor was approved. 2. The proper type letter or letters designating the type of conductor or cable. 3. The manufacturer's name or trademark. 4. The AWG size or circular mill area. 5. Conductor material. 6. Insulation temperature rating. The method of marking. 1. Surface marking. The following shall be durably marked on the surface of the conductor or cable at intervals not exceeding 24 inches 610 mm, 1 maximum rated voltage, 2 type letter or letters, 3 manufacturer's name or trademark, 4 AWG size or circular mill area, 2 marker tape. Marker tape used for purposes of identification shall be of a type suitable for the application and shall be installed so that it is not subject to removal under normal use. 3 tag markers. Tag markers used for purposes of identification shall be of a type suitable for the application and shall be installed so that they are not subject to removal under normal use. Lastly, 310.12 conductors with color coding. In general, all conductors in sizes 6 AWG and smaller shall be color coded as specified in 310.12 AM through 6. These color codes shall be strictly observed and shall not be altered in any manner. 1 grounded conductors. Grounded conductors shall be identified by a continuous white or grey outer finish or by 3 continuous white stripes on other than green insulation along their entire length. 2 equipment grounding conductors. Equipment grounding conductors shall be identified by a continuous green outer finish or by 3 continuous green stripes on other than green insulation along their entire length. 3 ungrounded conductors. Ungrounded conductors shall be any color other than white, grey, or green. 4 grounded conductors of different systems. Where grounded conductors of different systems are installed in the same raceway, cable, enclosure, or equipment, 1 grounded conductor shall have a continuous white or grey outer finish. The other grounded conductor shall have a continuous white or grey outer finish with a readily distinguishable different colored stripe, not green, running along its entire length. 5 ungrounded conductors. Where conductors of different systems are installed in the same raceway, cable, enclosure, or equipment, all ungrounded conductors of one system shall be identified by phase and system. Means of identification shall be permitted to be by separate color coding, marking tape, tagging, or other approved means. 6 ungrounded conductors. Where more than one nominal voltage system exists in a building containing branch circuits, each ungrounded conductor of a branch circuit shall be identified by phase or line and system at all termination, connection, and splice points. The means of identification shall be permitted to be by separate color coding, marking tape, tagging, or other approved means. The information provided serves as a general educational guide. Always consult the latest edition of the NEC and local electrical codes for specific requirements in your area and seek guidance from qualified professionals for electrical installations.